Whew, that is hot, I tell ya. Good stuff. All right. What's happening, everybody? Ryan over here. Today I wanted to talk to you about one of the more important human triggers. Now, this is a human trigger that really influences buying behavior. And what it is the trigger of
Presentation like that.
All right, so the show must go on. Guys, so the human trigger I want to talk today about is empathy. And the reason for this coffee being spilt on me is because I wanted you to understand, just even for a second, like, oh my goodness, he's burning himself, right? And that is that feeling of empathy, and we want to build on that. Now, empathy is a powerful human trigger, and a lot of people confuse it with sympathy. Now, sympathy is when you feel sorry for somebody. Empathy is when you feel sorry for them, but also understand their situation because you've been through a similar situation. And empathy is a very, very powerful trigger. And people look for that when they're looking to do business with you. They're looking for the human trigger of empathy. So how do we actually establish empathy? How do we help our people with empathy? Well, the biggest enemy to empathy is actually callousness. And what I mean by callousness is, look at some of our customers are dealing with hundreds and hundreds of people per day that are coming in with auto body damage, right? And so they become immune to that. They don't have any empathy towards that customer situation. And the biggest reason is they see it all day long. And so that customer can pick up on that. They're like, this person isn't relating. I'm in a case of frustration and I've never been through this before, and this person is treating me like I'm in a meat packing plant. And we never want to do that. So callousness is what really ruins empathy. And we see this a lot where new CSRs or people that are new to the business, they start out with a good level of empathy and people are very warm and receptive to a customer, but that can fade, right? And I'll give you this story. So I was at a funeral one time, actually a relative of mine, and we were running a little bit behind, and the funeral director was so calloused, right? She was like literally pushing people. She's like, okay, everybody, we're on a timeline, we're on a timeline. And she started pushing these people out of the funeral parlor. And while she was doing that, she was having the casket moved, and they're in such a rush that the casket bounced off the edge of the wall and almost came off of the crate thing that it was being wheeled around on. And they didn't care. They had no care. And a lot of us were appalled, right? Totally appalled. But that's callousness. And that's an extreme case, but that is callousness. And that is what we got to be very cognizant of or careful of, that we don't allow ourselves to become callous. So empathy is a very powerful human trigger. Understand that your customers are looking for that in your people, in your daily activity. And they look for that very quickly. We have about a 7-second window, whether it's on the phone, whether it's a person that walks in the office, there's about a 7-second window of that customer making the majority of their buying decision. And we need to display empathy as a human trigger to really help that person. So that's one of the major human triggers. I'll come back to you in another video on a few more. Talk to you soon.